Good evening, everyone. This is Stephen Capaldi, commentating for Deathmatch Pool. Tonight, we're live streaming the qualifying round, number 1 from McGoldrick's. In table 1, we've got Aldo versus John McGinn. And table 2, we've got Chris Martin versus Stephen O'Neill. For those of you who don't know yet, Deathmatch Pool. It's a one-frame format. Format's made up of 18 games in total. Each player plays 3 group matches, after which they go into the knockout deathmatch ladder. From there, you've got to win your match in order to stay in the competition, until there's one player left standing. Table 1, we've got Aldo at the table. 2 balls left to pot. Just needs to watch he doesn't get. Just played a clever shot there, covered the bag. As always, it lets John back into the table. You only need one chance in this game. On table 2, we've got Chris Martin playing Stephen O'Neill. Now these 4 players will be joined by Tahir, Grant Finnegan, David Gillis and Stuart Robertson. The 8 players have won the last 8 weeks of qualifiers here in McGoldrick's. Every Monday night, 8 o'clock. And they play out a group, and these are the 8 winners from those 8 qualifiers the last 8 weeks. So the winner tonight will go into our grand final, and the grand final will be on December 3rd here in McGoldrick's. And on that night, the winner will pick up a £10,000 cheque. Entry each week is one £10 entry. Table 1 just now, Aldo figuring out how best to get to that ball over the pocket. He's blocked for going up and down the yellow. He's looking at the swerve shot. And that's worked out well for him there. Total snooker means that John's really only looking to make contact here. Oh, and he's got a result. So Aldo's got a difficult escape here. It's going to have to come off, I would imagine, more than one cushion. He's blocked from taking 2 cushions by the ball on the top. And the natural angle is blocked by the ball on the left side. He's going to try and force a bit of angle by coming top side of the middle bag. He's done well there to hit where the red's finished. John will find that difficult. John McGinn's taking his time here, being patient, waiting for an opportunity. It's another good hit there from Aldo. And John recognising that he's not likely to take away the finish just yet, looking for a better opportunity. On another table we've got Chris Martin, Stephen O'Neill. A tactical battle over there. Both sets of balls out in the open now though. John playing very cagey against Aldo. Understandably, quality of Aldo's game. Can't give him many chances. All these players have got their qualities. That's how they've made this final here tonight. Stephen O'Neill just taking his time on the table too. Knows he can't make any mistakes. He's only got one chance here the way the yellows are sitting. Chris is likely to take them away, so wants to make the most of this opportunity. He's maybe looking at taking the reds in the bottom half of the table before the top. That was a thin clip that Aldo got there on the red. I think John will tuck him up, and he has done, promoting his yellow over the pocket. Stephen's found quite a nice angle there, but the white's quite close to the cushion. Might be striking down on it a little. Just trying to find that angle so that he's on the red. Having watched many of these competitions, nerves definitely play a part. I wonder if John will take the risk here of trying to finish this, possibly playing the plant. Oh. I think he rushed that a little. But he's got away with it. It's an incredible piece of luck, which you need in this game as well. See if Stephen can get that white to sit where he needs it. It's not worked out as well as he would have hoped. He'll now feel as if he's got to swerve round the yellow or take it off the side cushion, try and come in under the black. Oh, what a shot there from Aldo. He's played that to perfection. John's made an excellent escape. Where's the white? Oh, that is a little unlucky, but then he has ridden his luck a little as well. Maybe it all balances out. So this tonight's been played in McGoldrick's. Every Monday night we have a competition in McGoldrick's. £10 to enter. Maximum of 8 qualifiers, so generally up until this point you've had to try and come in by the Friday at the latest, because if you phone in a Saturday or Sunday trying to make the Monday, then quite often what happens is it's full and you maybe then go into a reserve spot just in case somebody pulls out last minute, which due to COVID has happened in the past and quite frequently recently. So every Monday night at McGoldrick's there'll be a qualifier, and that will last throughout the year. Every time we have 8 qualifiers, we'll run a final like tonight. And the person winning this final tonight will go to the £10,000. Oh, look at that double that Aldo's played. Well done. Yeah, we'll go on to that £10,000 day in McGoldrick's on the 3rd of December this coming year. We've got qualifiers all over the country. Plan is to go to Kilmarnock, Falkirk, Greenock, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Inverness. We're going to Manchester, Sunderland, and we're also in talks with some other areas north of England and a couple further south as well. Some of the smaller pubs and clubs are taking this on as well. They're getting quite excited about it. Castle Hill Bowling Club in Carluke is running 8 qualifiers and will offer a spot. Also, we've got a qualifier next weekend in Dumfries. We're hoping to run a day of qualifying where we have all 8 qualifiers on a Saturday, followed by the final, to produce that person who will come along on the 3rd of December for the £10,000 day. So next in table 1 we've got Tahir versus Grant Finnegan. Both very attacking players. I've got John McGinn here, who's just off his game against Aldo McLeod. John, there was a lot of very good shots played in that game. Talk me through your thinking on the plant that you tried to play in the yellow at the end.
Just sheer luck.
It is a game with a lot of luck, John, you're absolutely right. But Aldo took away a nice double there at the end. What was he talking about when he pointed at the ball over the spot?
See the ball that I potted up the top. Instead of potting that, hang it, and I still just came and snookered them behind the ball, and I sold them a ball on the table.
It's John's perspective on the end of that game there. So Chris Martin wins the game on table 2. And that will bring up our next match, which is David Gillis versus Stuart Robertson. As expected, the game between Tahir and Grant started a ball dropping, an attacking break, balls are spread. I've got to imagine Grant will making every effort to take this out. David Gillis and Stuart Robertson lagging for break in table 2. That's a good lag from both players. Now having a good look at that. Might agree to go again. Calling a judge. Table 1. Like I say, Grant's going for this finish. Just got to plot his way around. Might be looking for a cannon here in the yellow just to hold the white. He's got the cannon, but he's not held for his red. That's now a difficult situation for Grant. The way the yellows are set up, he knows the probability is Tahir will take it out, so he's really got to commit to the shot selection here. With only one chance, you've got to get it right. If he plays this dead weight, at least he hopefully covers the pocket. Might have been in trouble there had the red dropped. Tahir's turn to attack. No, that nudge wasn't friendly. So we've got Stuart Robertson at the table. Good break, split the balls nicely, got one down. He's now taking reds. So Deathmatch pool's in its second year. Last year we ran 64 qualifiers out of McGoldrick's in Glasgow, Rutherglen. And the 64 finalists were due to play there in January. And the grand final, unfortunately, COVID postponed it for us. And I tried to get a date as soon after as I could, but with so much in the pool calendar, it was difficult to find dates where one of the 64 qualifiers wasn't already involved in another competition. So what we decided to do there was move it to the first free date in the calendar, which is on the 7th of May. So here in McGoldrick's on the 7th of May, there will be 64 qualifiers from the 2021 series coming down to play for a £3,000 pot. That'll be a fantastic day, looking forward to that. Stuart's still at the table and looking to take away this finish here. If he does manage it, it'll be a break and finish. And the rules of Deathmatch are that if you do manage a break and finish with only being one frame, your opponent's given the opportunity to do that back. So far in Deathmatch, we've had 88 break and finishes. And nobody has managed to return serve. Nobody has managed to break and dish back. That was poor cueing there from Stuart. He knows he should have done better with that shot. And it gives David a chance at the table. Tahir with ball in hand. Chooses to open out the black. We've got a foul shot in table 2 there as well. And really I think what you're going to see here, if I'm not wrong, is the nerves that come into this game. David's at the table now. With 2 shots, you'd imagine there should be no issues. Many players probably saying just pot the yellows. David's going to try and tuck away that red, just as an insurance. But as you can see already, he's left himself not the easiest pot to continue. And there was also a little risk there that the red ball would cover his yellow. But he has got that insurance now, and I think he'll use it. What an opportunity for Grant, and he's lost the white. When you know you've only got that one chance, nerves definitely play a part. So Stuart's missed the angle there. Let's let David back in with another 2 shots. And I must say, even with the quality of pool that David plays, it's not an easy finish, even with the 2 pot shots. Not in this format. You might think that you would, and comfortably. You should come and try it. Tahir with 2 balls to pot. It looks comfortable at the table. Just needs to sit nice on the 8 ball here, which he has. Tahir goes through with a victory. The way the format works is that each player will play 3 matches If you win your match, you're moving to the top of the Deathmatch ladder, and if you lose your match, you're moving to the bottom of the Deathmatch ladder. What you're trying to do is get as high on that Deathmatch ladder as possible, because when it comes to the knockout stages, it's the people at the bottom that have to play off to stay alive, and the people at the top get to wait, find out who their opponent is, potentially in that final. So as it is at the moment, Aldo, Chris Martin and Tahir have won their matches. They move up to the top half of round 2. John McGinn, Stephen and Neil Grant Finnegan have lost their first match, so they're moving down to the bottom half, and they'll play each other. So starting round 2 on table number 1, we've got Aldo McLeod and Chris Martin, both having won their first games. It's a nice shot from Stewart. He's made contact. I know all the yellows are open, but David's had several chances already. He's really got to take this one, I feel. They are all sitting there for him. He's just taking some time to plan his way around the table. So we've got some questions online here. Are there any qualifiers in Dundee or Hamilton? So Dundee, we've had conversations with the Fleming brothers. They have taken an interest, but as of yet I've not committed to running any qualifiers. I'd be keen to get up to Dundee. There's a lot of good players there. Arbroath as well. Also Matty Donaldson was very keen last year to run a couple of qualifiers, but complications got in the way of that. We didn't quite get to Dundee. He's also interested in running a couple of qualifiers, so if those boys are listening and they want to get in on the action, just give me a wee phone, and that goes for anybody anywhere. If you do feel like running a couple of qualifiers, you can do. If you go onto my website, www.deathmatchpool.com, you can get all the information you need about the competition, about the prize money, the rules and the format. There's a format there for you to download and have a look at. Hamilton, again, we don't have any qualifiers in Hamilton yet, but Lake, who's got the ballroom in Dundee, what has David done there? Is he given himself? I don't think he's given himself the angle. He's not got down far enough. A little bit of bottom, he might be able to keep the white from. Oh, he's cutting it back into the blind pocket. And he's made the pot. Well done, David. So David goes through as our fourth winner from the first round, which takes him to the top and plays against Tahir. Also takes Stuart Robertson to the bottom half of the table, who will later play Grant Finnegan. So Lake and Bells Hill is going to run a couple of qualifiers in the ballroom. We've got Greg McMillan in the Castle Hill Bowling Club in Carluke, who's already started running his competition. He's got one qualifier for his local final set up already. East end of Glasgow, we've also got the Gartcraig in, who have taken a block of 8 qualifiers, and will have a local final in their pub. And as I say, if you want to run some qualifiers in your local pub or club, please get in touch. On the 3rd and 4th of June, we'll be in the Savannah Owen Club in Manchester, JJ Fall. It's a great club, runs a lot of competitions. has a lot of players. So I think the standard will be quite high when we go down there. And that's an uncharacteristic miss by Aldo. That just shows you, even in a straightforward game, that the nerves are out there. Mistakes are definitely made. Table 2, John McGinn's gone in off the break. Scratched. And Stephen O'Neill will be first at the table with 2 shots. John McGinn and Stephen O'Neill's again from the bottom half of round 2. Both players will be hoping to avoid defeat there, because if they are beaten again, having lost the first and lose the second, takes them down to that bottom of the deathmatch ladder. Only one time has anybody managed to get from the bottom of the ladder to a victory and win their group. That was done by John Dawson last year. John Dawson's managed to qualify now for the final of the first series, which is now played, the postponed final, now played on the 7th of May. So John's the only player to have managed that. Can come into that competition with his head high, having salvaged a victory out of almost certain defeat. And a little miss there from Chris Martin, whose queuing's ordinarily very strong. Chris Martin's qualified for the first final, as has Aldo. Both of them qualified in their first time of trying. So Aldo's just got to figure out a way to get that black out of there, or he takes a cross double. He's just doing that just now, figuring out where he needs the white in order to play that cross double if he's going to go there. The thing is, he hasn't really got an angle from any of the reds at the moment to go into the black, and he really wants to leave that one in the middle of the table if he's going to try and get into the black, because that would be the red I would imagine he would want to pot after. The way the balls are situated, he's got to now consider the cross double on the 8 ball. I think both players on table 2 would agree that the balls are in a position to finish here as well, but not straightforward. A little bit of positional play, occasional nudge to develop, promote some of the balls. So let's see how Aldo does here. Just looking again to see where he wants the white. Oh, he's pulled the white back a little further than I think he would have wanted. He's got to watch the white here if he's going to try and thin that back. I don't know if he's got the angle for that though. Could try and play the cross double to the corner bag, but then he develops the yellow. Has got to go in. He's just probably weighing up the probabilities here. Is there a shot he can play? I think he's looking at this just now. Can he put the white up into the top corner pocket and hide the yellows behind each other? Maybe just trying to find a place on the table where he could put the white. It would be relatively safe. He's had a go at that cross double, and I think from the speed that he played it, he knew it wasn't likely to go. He's possibly covered the angle on the yellow into that corner though. definitely think that yellow doesn't go now, so he's going to have to take it now or play a nice positional shot in his second but last yellow to get round for that. Chris just having a look just now. Yeah, he's taking a white up there. He's going to watch that middle bag. He's got the angle to pot the yellow, but the white must be going very close to that corner pocket. And that is a fantastic shot from Chris Martin. Just needs to steady himself here. Yeah. Drops the 8 ball in. And that was a very good win there from Chris Martin. It's just unfortunate Aldo finished a little lower on the 8 ball than he wanted. Made it really difficult. But Aldo's not out of it yet. He'll go into what we call Game 10. A victory in Game 10 will take him to 3rd place in the Deathmatch ladder, and if he loses Game 10 he would be in 4th place. Coming on to Table 1 now, we've got Grant Finnegan and Stuart Robertson. Both having lost their first game, they really want to win this one. Not that you don't want to win all your games. So Stuart wins the lag there. On the other table, Stephen and Neil on the yellows. Ideally he wants to play this yellow down and just nick the red before it drops, opening up the bag for the other yellow and playing position hopefully on the one in the middle. He's just looking to see if the black goes in the middle bag as an alternative. So he's missed the nick on the red, but I think the yellow still goes in there. And he can open up the red and the black here with the white, which he's done nicely. So a little stun shot up off the cushion should give Stephen the victory against John. Yeah. I'm saying should give the victory. I've seen these miss several times. You just got to steady yourself when you're playing that 8 ball. Oh, and would you believe it? So often I've seen these balls missed. The nerves get to people. It's an incredible game. The person that wins this deathmatch competition, the person that takes home that massive check, will not be the best player. It'll be the player that can hold his nerve. Again, shots like that John wouldn't ordinarily miss. And he's missed the red. It's given Stephen another shot into the same bag. Yeah, he doesn't make any mistake this time. Drops the black in. And so Stephen O'Neill gets a victory, and John McGinn will feature in our first death match a little later on. Before that game takes place, we've got our last game in round 2, which is between Tahir and David Gillis. Tahir and David both won their first game, so they're in the top half of the group at the moment. Whoever wins between Tahir and David will go on to play Chris Martin for a top of the table spot, and whoever loses between David and Tahir will play Aldo McLeod in round 3. John McGuinness was a little unlucky against Aldo. He had control of the table and an opportunity. Now finds himself at the bottom of the ladder. And a lot of work for John to do now to qualify tonight for that £10,000 final. So Grant Finnegan's at the table just now. Kind of wanted a stop shot on that yellow, but he's going to have to move the white a little. He's played that really nicely. He's given him a longer yellow than he would have wanted, but Grant's more than capable of dropping these in. And he leaves himself that black to the opposite corner. Opposite middle, sorry. And Grant doesn't make any mistakes there. John McGinn furiously trying to get some practice in here before his death match comes up. So next up, on table 1 we've got Grant Finnegan and Stephen O'Neill. This is us in round 3 now. These guys are playing for places 5 and 6 on the ladder. So they are in the bottom half. Means they'll either have 5 or 6 death matches to survive in order to win the competition tonight. So some of the other places where we're going to have competitions this year, as I've already mentioned, we've got the Castle Hill Bowling Club in Carluke, which have already started. They've got one qualifier for their local final already. We've also got another 4 qualifiers, possibly even 5, qualifying people coming from McGoldrick's here in Rutherglen. We've got Paisley's Pockets. Maxie's going to start, I think, a Monday night qualification game in there. And also we've got JJ Fall in the Savannah in Manchester. Last year we ran some qualifiers in Greenock down at the Bullseye, and they're looking to do that again. Jim Wilson's organising those ones. The Gart Craig, Stevie Walker, Paddy McAllister, looking to set up in the Gart Craig this year. Mark Farnsworth, who's keen to run a set of qualifiers down in Washington, just outside Sunderland, in the Sky Lounge. So looking forward to having him on board. Speaking to Brian Garrick of Shooters in Kilmarnock at the weekend, so he's really keen to get some qualifiers in his club. I'm just organising dates with him just now. Paul Cruikshanks, he's in the Shandon in Edinburgh. We ran a few through there last year, and we've got 4 qualifiers from Edinburgh coming to the first final on the 7th of May. We've also got Kelly and Val, who run the Sand Snooker Club in Dumfries. They're going to have a set of qualifiers down there. We've got Santa out of Players in Falkirk, who's going to run a block of 8 and possibly more. And we're talking to Billy Snadden up in Alloa, trying to get some qualifiers there as well. There'll be more venues to come, but like I say, if you're interested and want some qualifiers in your local pub or your local area, you don't need to run them all 8 yourself. You can get together with a neighbouring pub or club, run 4 each or something like that. I believe one of the Greenock qualifiers is likely to run out of Victoria's Bar in Dunoon. So you can spread the venues. So Tahir and David Gillis's game's gone on a little longer than I expected here. There's been a couple of good shots, but there's also been a couple of mistakes. And it's David Gillis at the table at the moment. He's just planning out his route. The balls are all there. And table 1, Grant Finnegan's back to his potting ways. He has them all available to him. Again, just making sure he's chosen the right route to potting each of the balls. If he puts a white there where the end of his cue is, he's got that shot to the middle, but potentially has that the shot to the other middle on the other red if it doesn't quite sit right. Yeah, he's allowed himself to play on both balls there, which is good. Still needs to get that white down the table for the black ball. And with the 4 yellows across the middle, he will have to find his path. Got to watch his position here in this last red. Avoid these yellows. It's worked out well for him. Shouldn't have any problems putting away here the black ball. He drops the 8 ball into the middle, and that gives Grant Finnegan the victory, and takes Grant Finnegan to the top of the bottom half of the ladder and finishes him in 5th place. Stephen O'Neill then finishes in 6th place in the ladder. Down at the bottom we've got John McGinn and Stuart Robertson, who both lost their first 2 games and are in places 7 and 8. So in our first death match tonight we've got John McGinn versus Stuart Robertson. Death match means that they have to win in order to stay in the competition. The loser of this match is going out. The winner of this match stays alive and continues on up the ladder. And if they do that, their next opponent would be Stephen O'Neill, the winner of that game going on to play Grant Finnegan, and so on up the ladder. At the top of the table, we still don't have the ladder settled because they're playing it out. David's taken a long yellow to the corner there and just missed out. Gives Tahir a chance at the table. He's got one difficult red. Might be trying to get into that now. He does. He's just missed it. Oh, and the kiss in the yellow. He's got another opportunity here to come off the red and go up and into the corner. Try and promote and develop that. And he's missed it again. The problem with this, of course, is that if he continues to pot his balls, potentially leaves. Oh, would you call that lucky or unlucky? I don't know. He's going to have to play a bit of spin on the white, I think, here. He's going to have to swerve it. I don't think he could put a lot of side on the ball. He could go off 2 cushions. He's not made the contact with the red there. Now you can see how nervous the boys in the deathmatch are. Neither player getting the lag above the baulk line. Let's hope not too many mistakes are made and it's won. So deathmatch starting on table 1 between John McGinn and Stuart Robertson. Having won their section earlier this month, their spot tonight effectively is worth £80. It's £10 to enter. So each player here has won one of those qualifiers. And the winner tonight has won a spot which will cost a pub or club £500. If they want to run a section of 8, they pay £500. Of course, if they fill all 8 sections of 8, they bring in £640 revenue, so they've made £140 profit already, which they can use either to pay somebody to run the event, or in some cases they're putting on a buffet. Mark Farnsworth's mentioned putting the extra money back into the pot to help pay for travel or accommodation for the person coming to the final. There's lots of different ways you can do that and use the money. It's probably one of the only pool competitions that actually gives the club money to run an event rather than the other way around. It's definitely something to consider. David's taking these yellows away quite quickly. Must be feeling quite comfortable, calm, composed. So he's got one more pot here to take him to the very top of the ladder. In round 3. And there's those nerves again. Would you believe it? You see it so often. But it always comes as a surprise that people can miss a ball just as straightforward as that. But it's this format. I've seen it so often. David will be furious with himself. But it's Tahir that goes up to the top of round 3. And it will be Tahir that plays Chris Martin to try and finish top of the deathmatch ladder. David Gillis will have a game against Aldo McLeod to finish 3rd or 4th. Meanwhile, on the other table, we've got the deathmatch in play. Got Stuart Robertson at the table. Stuart's got 2 shots. After John McGinn scratched there. So pushing that yellow over the bag, he's given himself every opportunity here. The balls are there for him. He's just got to make sure that the cueing, concentration, focus and the nerve all stay together. He's got to win this game in order to stay in the competition. And you could see him move his arm there on the cue. Cue action let him down a little. That red in there's going to cause John a few problems. He's going to have to be quite clever, John, here to get himself back into this frame. Stuart definitely has control despite not being at the table. Now starting on table 2, we've got a third round match between Aldo and David Gillis. This is to find out who finishes third and who finishes fourth on the deathmatch ladder. John's still potting balls, so is it that he sees a way out here? No, he's going to tie this game up if he can. Leaves one ball in view. Stuart choosing not to pot it just yet. Stu comes from East Kilbride. He came down 2 weeks ago, played in the qualifier, and on that night there were 2 qualifiers. He didn't make it through the first time he tried, but decided to have another shot that night in the second qualifier and scraped it through in the final against Jamie Tom. Jamie talks about a little bit of luck being involved. Stuart didn't see that luck. He thought he played very well. Aldo was the first one to qualify in this section. He qualified 8 weeks ago. Has been waiting for this final. But it's David Gillis that's at the table first. He's on the reds, and they're all there. Landed a wee bit awkward. Should be able to take that red into the middle bag off one of the yellows. Just wants to watch the white. Yep, just played that well. Bit of run inside just to take the white away from the final red. Don't know if he's got much of an angle here though. He's probably going to leave himself a bit of distance between the white and black. He's hit it hard to get up the table. He's done well to get the white so high there. So just the 8 ball to pot. Yeah, and he tucks it well. Now, because David Gillis took away a break and finish there, gives Aldo the chance to break back. Now, Aldo must take away a break and finish in order to reset the match. And they would just start again with a lag if he managed it. But having said that, 89 break and finishes now in the death match, and nobody has managed to return the favour. Could Aldo be the first? He's given them a good whack. There was plenty of movement. Oh, and the last ball to move. Yes, the yellow drops. It looked as if he was coming up dry there, but the last moving ball, as so often happens, drops into the corner bag, and it gives Aldo the table. Got to say the reds are all sitting. Just needs to think about this, plot his way around the table and take the finish away. He's done it many times before. So this could be the first time this has ever been done. In the 72 qualifiers that we've had, this is the 73rd. The 88 break and finishes that we've had, nobody has managed this. He's 2 balls down, 5 to go. Any ordinary frame, any tournament, you would imagine Aldo taking this out, no problem at all. But this isn't ordinary. This is deathmatch. And it does seem to bring nerves. It does seem to bring mistakes that are very uncharacteristic. Still fancy Aldo for this though. A deathmatch, another table. Stewart's going for the finish. He's taking that ball over the corner. He's got 3 to pot. Now where's Aldo left himself here? He wanted the one in the bottom cushion first. Maybe a kiss in the yellow just to hold for the red, which he gets. Now where's that black going? I think he goes in the corner. He's got one last red to pot. The red isn't a problem. It's just making sure you get that position on the 8 ball. Oh, Stewart, what have you done? What an opportunity there for Stewart, and he's not taking it. Aldo comes down. He's just to leave himself that 8 ball. Clearly passes to the corner, and the first time ever, he's already smiling. This has got to go. And it does. And you hear the cheers. So there you go, first time it's happened in the Deathmatch series. Aldo gets his name in the Hall of Fame. He's been the first person ever to reset the match. So back to the start, lagged again. This time Aldo wins the lag. Could it be a third break and finish in a row? Let's see. On the Deathmatch table, we had Stewart go for the finish early. John tried to take it out, didn't quite manage it, and Stewart's progressed. So John McGinn, unfortunately, is now the first player to go out of the competition. And we've got Stuart Robertson, who progresses up the ladder from 8th place into 7th. He's playing Stephen O'Neill, finished 6th. And John McGinn goes home, having had opportunities, just not taking them tonight. Table 1. I've got the next death match, and that will be Stuart Robertson versus Stephen O'Neill. So Stephen O'Neill versus Stuart Robertson. The next death match on table 1. Gets a couple of balls off the break. Nice break. David Gillis at the table on table 2. Just like to say thanks to Craig at Q Sport tonight for streaming this event live. It's been incredibly helpful, supportive, getting Deathmatch the publicity that I need it to have. I really appreciate his efforts, especially the number of hours he does. He's got his own job, works crazy hours over the weekend, still comes in on a Monday night to help me out. So we've got Stephen O'Neill at the table here in the death match. Just trying to decide where he's going first, plotting out his finish. Yellow certainly looked to be a little easier. I don't know if that first one passes the red into the middle bag, or if he needs to take a long one to the corner. You may have to go for reds if you can't get a yellow off the, and that's exactly what he's tried to do, but unfortunately he's missed there. It gives Stuart the table. There's no ball down yet, so he's able to take either colour. David Gillis on table 2, still with a chance here to win. Can't wait to find out how David feels having broken finished, thinking that you've done enough and then having to return to the table after Aldo doing the same back. I've not been able to ask that question yet. I will tonight. See what he's got to say about it. Meanwhile, Stuart Robertson on the yellows in a death match. Remember, the loser of this game is out. The winner gets to progress up the ladder. Grant Finnegan waiting on the winner. It's just a quick look at the deathmatch table. As you can see, round 1 in red, round 2 in yellow, round 3 in green, and we're now moving into the blue deathmatch ladder, where you can see John McGinn lost to Stuart Robertson in the first game. Stuart progresses up the ladder to Stephen O'Neill. The next player will play against Grant Finnegan, and those top matches in the green section are playing out to see who finishes first, second, third and fourth in the ladder to finish the tournament. Aldo with a nice angle in the red. If you can stun across and hold for the 8 ball into the same pocket. Now he's going right across the table. Maybe didn't pass the yellow there. Oh, and I think that ball just missed there. He's given away 2 shots. Tricky shot for Aldo, but he plays it well. And that's Alan McLeod, finished in 3rd place in the ladder. David Gillis finishes in 4th. And now we've got the top match in round 3, Chris Martin versus Tahir. Chris Martin and Tahir are playing for a 1st and 2nd place in that ladder, so whoever wins this match, they'll go on to play the final tonight. Stevens elected to lift the white. It's on the reds, 4 more to go. Be playing this quite slow just to hold the pocket if it does miss, but no, he's knocked that in nicely. So Stephen with 4 balls to pot in order to climb the ladder to Grant Finnegan. He's had to get into that, Stephen. Oh, and he's played it to perfection. Just the angle he was looking for. Again, you would say this would be straightforward. He's left an angle. Possibly would have wanted to take that white through a little bit more than he has done. Shouldn't be a problem for him though. Yeah, drops it in. He's got a wee nudge there on the 8 ball. The 8 ball still passes. It's a huge break from Tahir on table 2. And Stephen just composing himself before he takes on this 8 ball. He needs it to go in. He knows if he misses, he's out the competition. So it's a big shot. Oh, now he's just missed there. But what can Stuart do? I mean, he could try and play the snooker, but it's a risky shot. Could come off the side or bottom cushion and hope that the yellow goes in somewhere. And the third shot's the skill shot. He's not got the perfect angle for it, but it would go. Where you're trying to put the yellow onto the 8 ball and drop both the yellow and the 8 ball. Let's see what Stuart chooses. It's a big shot. Oh, he's tried to play the snooker. It's not worked out. And he shook Stephen's hand. Stephen's progressing through to the next round. Stuart Robertson unfortunately has to bow out at this stage. Stephen holds the table and goes on to play against Grant Finnegan in the next round. We've had 72 of these competitions so far. 72 qualifiers in total. And of the people who won the first 3 games in the group stages and topped the Deathmatch ladder straight into the final, considerably less than half of them have won. Seems to be an advantage to come up through the ladder and have your hand on the table. Sometimes winning all 3 games doesn't work out. I think Davy Markey would be one of the first to tell you that. He's finished top of the ladder a couple of times. He's not managed through just yet. I'm sure he will. He's too good a player not to be in a final stage of one of these. Chris Martin. Yeah, cues that nicely. So Chris Martin, if he pots this red, this 8 ball, which he does, goes top of the ladder. Tahir finishes second, and that's our ladder complete for tonight, so we're going to one table. Next in the death match, it's not Hendo versus Davy Markey, as you can see there, just updating that for you just now. It'll be Grant Finnegan versus Stephen O'Neill. There we go. And now you can see that deathmatch ladder on the left hand side of your screens. Oh, Stephen O'Neill goes in off the break. Gives Grant 2 shots and the table to choose from. And because Stephen O'Neill's won the lag and also had the break, he's now effectively played 2 shots. So if Grant can reverse this here with these 2 shots, then Stephen O'Neill would be out of the competition and Grant would progress up. You can see there that Grant would progress up to play against David Gillis next. Then it will be Aldo Tahir before Chris Martin in the deathmatch final tonight. The winner of tonight's deathmatch final goes through to the £10,000 prize final on the 3rd of December, along with 30 other people from around the country. This format's played throughout, so on the 3rd of December, around 6 o'clock in the evening, somebody will be going down to the table to play for £10,000 in a 1-frame match, which should be quite exciting. We have 64 qualifiers coming to us on the 7th of May for the 2021 Series 1 final. They're playing for £3,000 as it was a smaller event. Got some players coming from, 4 players coming up from Greenock, 4 coming through from Edinburgh. Also got qualifiers from other parts of the country, players in Falkirk. We had a great night down in Irvine. Thanks Craig McCready for that evening. Well taken care of. We had a few qualifiers down there as well. And there really is a competition where anybody can win. We had Graham Sillars and Gio Edgar in that competition. They found it difficult to get through and didn't manage it. We've had Davy Markey and Robert Stephen try up here. Again, haven't managed to qualify. Some real top class players. But anybody can win one frame, as we know. So Grant at the table. He's opened up these yellows nicely. Just keeps himself composed. He should take this finish out. You can get all the rules and all the competitions, all the venues on the website, which is www.deathmatchpool.com. We're also on Facebook. Got a page, which is Deathmatch Pool, and also a profile, which is Deathmatch Pool Tour. Get lots of information about upcoming events. Every Monday night, McGoldrick's, 8 o'clock, we'll have a qualifier. Like I say, if you want to run any qualifiers yourself, please get in touch with me. You'll find my phone number. My name's Stephen Capaldi. Most of you probably know me from the 9-ball table. Can't imagine I've made a name for myself in the 8-ball table, despite efforts. So Grant's got a slightly more difficult shot here to the top corner. Needs to try and hold the white on the bottom 2 yellows as well. He's played that very nicely. He's run out of position a little bit here. Grant knows that he's got to win this match in order to stay in a competition. She's got to get this one right. It's maybe going to try and find a safety. I can't imagine. I can't see where the pot would come from here. I think he's tried to set that yellow up as a blocker to the corner pocket, but I'm not sure he's managed it. Almost certainly got to play that red now anyway. Drop it into the middle, either way. I'd imagine Stephen will fancy that. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring Deathmatch for any of the local events or on a larger scale, yeah, get in touch. I've got some sponsors looking to strike up some deals just now. I've also got some TV companies looking into this as well. Deathmatch Pool's a company now, a PLC. So again, you can go online and have a look at the details of the company. A lot of the pool players like to ask the question, where's the money going, where's it coming from, how's it being invested, so you can get all that information there as well. Fancy coming down to McGoldrick's on the 7th of May. 7th of May we've got 8 groups of 8 all playing this deathmatch format. Nobody else is using this format. The format itself has got copyright. The idea's been registered, so if you're playing in deathmatch competitions, it will be for one of these big prizes. £10,000 this year. And the aim is to go to 30 or possibly 50,000 next year. Yep, £50,000 for one frame. It's got to be worth putting in the television. So Grant just keeping the white down the bottom of the table here. Oh, and he's got himself an opportunity. And that plant looked as if it had to go, but Grant should really take this out now, I would imagine. Stephen will be disappointed there. All the balls were there for him as well. Grant's patience has paid off. He's got this opportunity now that he needs to take. These guys are playing for a spot that would be worth £500 in the grand final. So they really can't afford to make a mistake. One ball left for Grant. Bread and butter shot for him. He doesn't look nervous. Yeah, and he's punched that in just to be sure. Well done, Grant. Progresses from the bottom half of the table. Up to play David Gillis in the next match. So as you can see in the ladder, the player that was higher seeded has won so far. This will be interesting though, because on paper, I would imagine a lot of people would fancy Grant to win this game against David. So if he manages it, that'll be him having won 2 in a row. His hand on the table makes a difference. Just gives him that edge if he's played 2 or 3 frames in a row. Makes it more difficult for the other players coming onto the table. Especially somebody like Chris Martin, who's been sitting now for probably the best part of 25 minutes. By the time he gets on, it could easily be 45 to an hour. So it can be difficult for Chris coming back to the table, especially if Grant goes on and wins his next 4 matches. Oh, he has scratched off the break though. It's a criminal error, especially at this level. So David Gillis coming to the table with 2 shots. And itself's pressure, because you know that the opportunity is there for you, and you start putting pressure on yourself to make sure that you take it, which of course then makes you miss at times. So just to recap, your £10 gets you into the competition. There's a quarter-final draw where everybody goes into round 1. Every player plays round 1 match. The people who win that first round match, all important first round match, will be in the top half of the deathmatch ladder come the knockout stage. The people who lose that first match, they will be in the bottom half of the ladder come the knockout stage. When you go into round 2, you're then just jostling for places within your section. Every player gets a second game and then a third game. And depending on how you do, depends on how far up this deathmatch ladder you are. Chris Martin's won all 3 games. Tahir won his first 2 and lost his third. Aldo won his first, lost his second and won his third. David Gillis won his first, which put him in the top half, but then he lost his 2 games after that, which puts him in 4th place. The guys down the bottom, they all lost their first match, which is why they're there. Grant Finnegan went on to win the 2 after that, so he's now won 3 in a row. He's still got a long way to go though, so you really want to win that first match. So David's had his 2 shots. He's let Grant back into the table. Ordinarily you would say that the balls are there to be potted. There's a couple of small complications there. You would need some right good positional shots. Possibly a couple of nudges to get some balls off cushions. Or a cross double. There's been an argument recently about whether or not if you win the lag you actually choose to break. Personally, not as experienced as some of these guys, I would say yeah, you take the first chance and you break and finish if you can. Some of the guys are saying no, because if you don't get a ball off the break or if you scratch off the break, you've effectively thrown the game away. You're better to let the other guy go, and do you know what, if he gets a break and finish, then you've got the opportunity to do the same back, so you get that second chance. Whereas if you scratch off the break, you might not get a second chance, or if you don't drop a ball off the break, you don't get a second chance. Don't know what you think about that. So Grant just weighing up the odds of trying to take something out of what's safety to play. I must say there have been some really slow games in the Deathmatch series, but I've never once got bored watching. It's incredible, you can't see it just now, but watching the face of the players as they look at the table and think, and the frustration when they realise that their brain isn't working the way that it normally would. You see them literally shaking their head and smacking their face trying to get their brain to work because they can't figure it out. You've got 2 shots and the 8 ball is just below the middle bag on the side cushion. Do you try and pot it and run the risk of the 8 ball knuckling and falling onto the bottom cushion, or do you lay it up, or just the guys get so confused as to what to do next when the pressure's on. So these guys playing out to climb the ladder. Aldo's sitting patiently waiting. He'll be on next. So there we've got David selected the reds. Played the plant there. Table was still open. This is really the only hard ball I would say on the table. The rest of them are now open for him. The opportunity is definitely there. May have to take those two reds that are close together, one of them up into the top corner, but really shouldn't pose a problem. Playing quite quickly, so must feel as if he knows what he needs to do. And this being a death match, Grant's obviously hoping that something goes terribly wrong here for David. If David keeps himself composed, he really should take this away. Is he going to play a gentle stun, or is he going to try and go into one of these reds? Gentle stun it is. He's played this quite well. Not sure if the right hand red goes into the middle bag there. He's just having a wee look himself. I mean, it's not necessary. If he takes the right hand red to the top corner, natural angle leaves him with the red to the middle. Looks like he's going to the middle bag. Oh yeah, it went in there very easily. And that should be enough to seal his place in the next round, you would think. Although he has missed that easy black to the middle in the previous game. Yeah, no mistake this time. And that's David Gillis through. Grant, having won 2 in a row, has to bow out. David Gillis through to the next round, and now playing Aldo in what effectively is a quarter-final match, because there's 3 matches to go till we find out who qualifies tonight for the £10,000 final. If you friend Deathmatch Pool on Facebook, I'll be able to get all the information to you on a regular basis. You'll be able to see the events that are coming up in different areas. If you would like an event at your club or pub, or a series of events, just give me a phone. It's most likely be my wife that you'll speak to, Fabulous Susie. She's the one that deals with the serious stuff, the admin, the organisation. Keeps me right, stops me from making mistakes. Thank you. She also looks after my lovely children while I'm out running these events, which is probably even more important. Okay, so Aldo went in off the break there, scratched in the middle bag. David at the table. He's dropped a red on his first shot. He's still got the opportunity to take the yellows. I think that's what he's considering just now. Only because of the angle he has on that red. He's going to have to probably pull it back across the table to get on his next ball. Yeah, he was always going to have to force that to get position. He's left himself a gap for the one in the middle. If he has, he's done well. Might even be able to take it in off the yellow. don't think the gap's there. He's used the yellow there to create an angle though. And because Aldo broke here and scratched, it would mean that if David was able to take away this finish, it would put Aldo out and David through to the semi-finals. Oh, he's got too much into that there. He might be able to see the red, but I don't think he's got the potting angle from where he sits. So only 4 players left in the competition now. David Gillis, Aldo Tahir or Chris Martin. One of these guys will be going to the £10,000 final on the 3rd of December here in McGoldrick's in Rutherglen, Glasgow. Oh, he's going to put a wee bit of swerve on this. If he does manage it, he's got that red to the middle. Oh, he nearly made that as well. It was an excellent effort. But he's given Aldo the opportunity here to get his hand on the table. That's always the fear, isn't it, when you scratch off the break, you don't get back to the table, but Aldo has now. He's just got to make sure he makes the most of this opportunity. Do you think he leaves the yellow on the side cushion to his last ball? Takes the black to the bottom corner pocket past the red. He'll certainly be thinking his way back from the 8 ball at the moment. Last yellow. He'll not be looking to tie up any safety. So he's going to go down for the bottom 2 yellows off of whichever ball he takes next. I think if he takes this one, to the corner. He was looking for a wee kiss, which he's got. That little nudge has worked out well for him. We'll just need to watch his cueing, but Aldo doesn't make mistakes like this. Now he would have wanted to get on the yellow probably in the bottom cushion there, but he had to take the white a little bit more up the table, so he'll be taking the ball to the middle bag this time. And you can see where he's put his cue, he's thinking of trying to get the white down for the yellow next to the black. Doesn't want to go too low with his position because he could snooker himself or maybe not leave the angle to get onto the last yellow. So he's just lost the white a little bit there. If he plays the yellow to the top corner, he still gives himself a chance to take the finish away. And if he plays it dead weight, he can cover the bag. The other one is if he plays the yellow on the bottom cushion, make sure he covers that one to the corner. There's a safety there, but Aldo fancies this. Yep, dead weight into the corner. At worst he holds the bag, which he has done. Both players know they need to win to stay alive in the death match. Only one of these guys is going into the semi-final to play Tahir. At the start of this clip tonight, well, you know, he's tried to clear that bag, but he's moved the red into a potable position. Queuing over the yellow, it's not going to be easy. can just drop it in. He will have position on that last red. Yeah, he's tried to drop it in, but it's not gone. Aldo must be pleased with his opportunity. Just keeps the white under control. Aldo will take this away. Yes, as I was saying, if you go back to the start of this video clip tonight, you'll see an animation that will show you how the format works. Only takes a couple of seconds to go through and hopefully makes sense to you. All the guys have said it's good value for money. They enjoy playing in the competition. Often lasts between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours. And almost everybody comes back for another shot if they don't qualify, if they don't win their group or their section. Almost everybody's come back for another shot. So it must be doing something right. Everybody has the opportunity to win because it is that one frame. And really, as you're seeing tonight, it's the people that can hold their nerve that win. We've seen some incredible balls missed tonight. Now again, if this doesn't go, he holds the pocket that red wants to go into, which makes it difficult for David to take out. Now I don't know if it stayed in the bag enough though. Can David squeeze that past there? He's having a good look. If that red squeezes into that corner bag, oh, what's he done? He's made the pot, which was easier than it looked to me anyway. But it looks as if he snookered himself on the red to the corner. Don't think he's got the path up and down the table because of that yellow in the middle, so he's got to play this swerve shot. And he's missed. He'll not be happy with that at all. What an opportunity there to knock out Aldo, who's definitely one of the favourites for this, and put himself through to the semi-final. But has he played his last shot? Well, Aldo will be pleased for this opportunity. David will be furious with himself. But it's Aldo that goes through. David has to bow out the quarter-final stage. So it's into the semi-finals now. Aldo holds the table. Next up, Tahir. Both Tahir and Aldo, as well as Chris Martin, are all in the Series 1 final already. And this is them hoping to make the Series 2 final. So I get a feeling that Tahir didn't want to win that lag. Like what we were talking about earlier, some people here feel as if the break is not an advantage. So we're into the semi-finals now. Chris Martin waiting in the wing to play the winner of this game. Only 3 players left. Aldo's kept the white on the table this time. And he's got a ball off the break. So he has the opportunity to break and finish. Not easy to pot a yellow here unless he's going to take it off one of those balls into the middle bag. Or if he can squeeze past the yellow he's next to and take a long yellow to the corner. Otherwise he's forced into taking the reds, but the reds are all there. He'd like to be able to get past that yellow that he's next to. Now he's looking at the... Yep, he's looking at the shot to the middle bag and off the red. But he knows fine well that if he misses, chances are Tahir will take it away, so whatever shot he plays, he's got to be sure of it. The percentages change. In a race to 6, a race to 10, whatever you want to say, you've got a different set of percentages. You take the chance because you can claw it back the frame after. Oh, he's played that well. So he's got the yellows, which he really wanted. He's now got another tricky shot. One more good shot should find him position. He's got quite a large area to finish in here with the fight. He's overcut it. Oh, he's overcut it. I tell you, if he had got that there, I think the finish was a formality for him. But it's Tahir who gets his hand on the table now. It's amazing, some of the guys feel as if they've got a 50-50 chance of the finish, they'll go for it. Because they only wanted a chance. And they trust themselves to get there. There's other people say it needs to be above 85 or I'm not going for it. If I've got a good safety on, I'll take the safety and let the other guy make the mistake. So, Tahir tries to pot the ball to top corner and develop his red. And he's let Aldo back in. The finish isn't as easy as it was before that shot, because you can see there was 5 reds in the bottom right hand section of the table. Start to clutter it up a little bit. The yellow closest to the black, you're going to have to get good position on that, or a kiss on one of the reds to hold. And there's that red in the middle of the table, which is blocking the second yellow. So it's not as straightforward. So the 8 players in tonight's competition have qualified over the last 8 weeks, each Monday night here in McGoldrick's. If you want to play, you need to get your name in for a Monday night. We're going to start our second group of 8. We're going to do that over April and May, and at the end of May we'll have a final just the same as this. The player that wins that final at the end of May will go through to the £10,000 finals day on the 3rd of December. It's a nice shot there from Aldo. Still got a bit of work to do here. We've already got 4 people signed up for next Monday night. There's only 4 spaces left. So if you're interested, PM me or phone me, text me, or send me a message through the website. Just use the black to hold for the yellow, but the black's got in the way there, and the 8 balls blocked his path entirely. Now what does he do here? Does he just sit in the yellow? Yep. As long as he's blocked that path to the red, to the middle bag. Now if he blocks this path to the middle, Tahir's either going to have to put the white in the top left corner or the bottom left corner. He's thrown the white into that cluster, and he's come out with a result. He was just hedging his bets there. Probability is, with all those reds down there, that he'd find something, but it was a risk he took. It's paid off this time. Aldo will be trying to drop on this yellow again. Oh, he's made contact, which is good. It looks as if the first red for Tahir is going to be a little bit difficult. He might have to take the red on the left hand side of the table, cut it back into the blind pocket. He's going for another snooker. Wait for a better opportunity. Thing is, this is the same shot Aldo played before, so maybe just adjust his angle a fraction. He has done. So again, he's blocked the path to that red, I think, into the left bottom corner, which means Tahir's either going for another snooker or he has to play a plant. The thing with the snookers is, eventually somebody's going to hit the ball hard and take a chance. And of course, if they get lucky, and it might only be a 10% shot, but it's also the end of your competition, so you don't really want your opponent getting their hand on the table if you can help it. He's going for another snooker. Thank you to the person who's just texted asking to play next Monday's competition. If you can send me a name, that would help. That's a nice shot there by Aldo. He's making it more and more difficult to get these snookers. So eventually Tahir goes for a plant. Didn't work out. He's still got the snooker though. Problem is now Aldo's got that escape across the table, and if he gets it right, the yellow drops and he's on the black. Soko's got a new number. Thanks, Soko. That's you in for Monday night. Oh, he's made the contact, but he's not got the pot there. But what he has done is he's forced the black to go into one of the top or bottom corners now. Doesn't go to the middle, I don't think. Ordinarily, somebody of Tahir's ability wouldn't have a problem with that, but like I say, there's nerves in the game now. So where the yellow is now, a lot more difficult to pot for sure. Tahir looking to take this one out. There's always a tripwire out there. There's always a problem. And he's run out of position. And we've got 2 shots because he's missed the cushion. So this was the shot I was talking about earlier. A lot of players find this takes a lot of thinking. I'm thinking Aldo will just drop the yellow down into the bottom corner, but he might lag it. It'll be interesting to see what he decides. Yeah, so he's just knocked it down a cushion. And look at that. How close has that got to the bottom cushion? This game's incredible. What does he do now? And that's why it became such a discussion. What do? Do you lay up? Do you knock it down? Do you just pot it and go on with it? I mean, if he played that ball to pot it, it goes in 9 out of 10 times, and he can sink that black, no problem at all. But because you've got the 2 shots, you change your mind, play the percentages, and wow. Don't know that he can go off the side cushion and up. I think he's got to play the thin snick, because the white could get trapped in that bottom corner, and it makes the 8 ball a really difficult shot. I think he's got to try and play the thin cut. Thanks for all the messages of support I'm getting just now through my phone, and also entries to the deathmatch. We've got Gemma and Gillen, thank you for your message. Riddler, and the ever-present Stevie Black, a legend that is. I'm not sure if that yellow had dropped, that the black was going to be an easy pot. Tahir's got to drop in this final red. Oh, and he's missed that by a mile. That's not Tahir. I think the nerves crept into that shot there, and it gives Aldo the chance. He's not going to make the mistake this time. Just shows you the nerves that are involved. These 2 top players have had a couple of chances each, and they've not quite got there. But it's Aldo that scrapes over the line, and moves on to the final. So we've got a qualifying final, 1 match, and it'll either be Aldo or Chris Martin that goes through to play for £10,000 on the 3rd of December here in McGoldrick's. 1 frame, 1 winner, 1 chance. Who gets the first chance? So it's Chris Martin to break. Played snooker with Chris when I was younger. Cues the ball really nicely. And what a break he's got there. Yellows are fantastic. The 8 ball, maybe a small complication that you'll have to figure out. Alternatively, takes the reds and tucks himself up into that little group in the top left corner. Hopes for a better chance, but he's got first bite of this cherry. Of course, if he takes out the finish, Aldo has a chance to do what no man had done before. Again, a second time in 1 night. So it'll be interesting to ask Chris if he'd planned out the finish and how he was going to get into that black, or if he was kind of waiting for the right opportunity and the right angle. I think that's what he's doing just now, is just rethinking how to get into that 8-ball. I mean, if you're going to kick in there, ideally you want that ball over the corner pocket so that you've got an easy yellow no matter where the white lies. And you certainly don't want to pop many more yellows because you run out of options. Chris is the type of player though that can play really precise positional play. So he might just believe in himself to play a really good positional shot off the last yellow. Aldo just hoping that he gets the opportunity. I don't think that's where Chris wanted his white. I mean, he's got that yellow over the pocket that he can go to just now. But as we were saying, he's running out of that the opportunity to get into that 8-ball at the end. So 3 more balls to win this qualifying round, and a place worth £500 in the £10,000 final. You can get all the information you need off at www.deathmatchpool.com, on the Facebook as well. And that was him trying to get the 8-ball out into the open, but unfortunately he's missed a yellow. So it's Aldo's turn. Is Aldo going to be patient? He is. He's going to wait. It's a sensible shot that he's played, but if you do get that cross double and you land nicely on the yellow, pop it into the middle bag, you've lost the frame. So do you give your the opportunity to your opponent? Chris will certainly be trying to pot this yellow here. I mean, he's made the red a little bit more difficult, but nothing that would trouble Aldo, I wouldn't have thought. Is he going to tuck him in there again? Give him another shot at this? He has done. This time he's got a better shot because the red that he played has covered the 8-ball into that corner bag. So there's another piece of insurance if Chris does manage to drop a yellow in him. Aldo can also use the red he last played to open up the other cluster of reds with the 8-ball when he chooses to. He's gone off the cushion first here, I think. He has. Yep. I fear he's opened up the black again, but he's got a good snooker this time. He's also developed his own balls so that if and when Chris makes a mistake, he's got the finish. Thank you guys who have tuned in tonight to watch. Oh, and there it is. There it is. See, that's what you've got to watch, isn't it? The ball goes in now. Don't think he's got the opportunity to finish here. Been incredibly thin hit on that yellow. which would in fact open up the 8 ball likely. Or does he play it off the cushion first and try to use the red near the side cushion to steer the yellow into the corner bag? I think he's going for the thin cut. Wow, he's made it as well. He's not developed the 8 ball, but he could take the 8 ball in off the side cushion. Aldo's done nothing wrong, but you get half a chance in this game, you've got to take it. That's what Chris is doing just now. To make the final, he's hit it hard, giving himself every chance. He knows the table's wide open for Aldo. Oh, where's the white? Oh my goodness. Does the red pass to the middle back? Does he have to look for another safety? I mean, he's got that red to the middle bag that's in the centre of the table. But while you're queuing and your nerves got to be good to knock that in. Oh, that's a confident pot from Aldo. It's almost too good. He's taken the white a fraction further than he would have wanted. Was that the adrenaline that took the white across the table there? Might well be. As I said earlier, if you take a look back at the start of this production, you'll see an animation of how the event works. It's £10 to enter, £10,000 to the winner. And as you can see, mistakes are made, so everybody's got a chance. Chris go for a long 8 ball to the corner. Will he take it across the middle of the table to one of the middle bags? Or he plays the long double down to the bottom corner. You can see him scratching his head there. He knows he's got a chance, but he knows it has to go. He knows if he doesn't put this 8 ball away, the probability is he's lost out the final hurdle. Like we said earlier, winning your group hasn't always worked out in the past. Percentages are the player coming up has a better chance of winning this game. Oh my goodness. Not sure what he tried there. Maybe to play it to the middle back? Or was he just trying to dolly it down into the bottom corner? Either way, you've got to imagine Aldo finishing this. Let's see if the nerves kick in. He's going to move that slightly awkward red first. Knock it down towards the corner. And you can see the pressure. The fact that Aldo's rethinking. It's not straightforward. As always, he's queuing spot on. Yeah, surely he's got it now. Surely. Four more balls and that's him into the £10,000 final on the 3rd of December. Just got to keep that cue action. Keep the nerve. He's played that well. He's on the side cushion, so a little bit awkward queuing, but he should manage this no problem at all. And he has. Well done, Alan Aldo McLeod, who's made it, having won the first of the Monday night qualifiers. He's come here tonight to play in the qualifying round. Qualified in 3rd place through the group sections. And he won the quarter-final, semi-final and final. And now goes on, congratulated there by Tahir, goes on to the £10,000 final along with 30 other players on the 3rd of December. Congratulations, Aldo McLeod. There's a table. As you can see, 3 sections, 3 games into the deathmatch ladder, and then it's knockout from there. Hope you want to give it a try. Please let me know when you want to turn up on a Monday night, try and qualify for one of these finals. Hopefully we can get you £10,000. Thanks again to Craig, Q Sports, for televising this tonight for me, McGoldrick's for hosting, and for all the people that have tuned in to watch and listen. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.